When I first got pregnant, I had heard horror stories of women tearing down to their toes during childbirth. I wanted an unmedicated birth, but I didn't want that. So I asked my doula, how do y'all handle tearing at the birth center? And what she said next shocked me. We don't really see vaginal tearing at the birth center. And I was like, what? How? Doesn't everybody tear? I thought that that's just what happens during birth. And she explained that my body is not designed to tear during birth. It's designed to gently stretch and open for my baby. And when you work with the design, you take the proper steps, the most you'll get is a little bit of a skid mark. Now, years later, I've given birth not once, but twice, and I can tell you it works. And I want to show you how. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to minimize or even completely avoid vaginal tearing altogether during childbirth. But first, my name is Maria. I'm a Lamaze-certified childbirth educator, birth doula, and owner of the app Natural Birth by Echo, an evidence-based resource with all of the tips and tricks you need to make your unmedicated birth a positive one. Okay, step one in how to avoid vaginal tearing starts now during pregnancy. Get your protein. And I don't mean protein powders or plant protein. No, I mean grass-fed, animal-based protein sources. Beef, eggs, liver, cheese. When you get your 80 to 90 grams every day, you nourish your skin, allowing it to stretch and open for your baby instead of rip. Back to my story, when I was pregnant that first time, I was freaking out a little bit. I don't want to tear. And one of the top recommendations I was given, protein. They knew their stuff. Now, as a birth worker myself, I know it's because we are made out of protein. Our hair, our nails, our skin, it's all protein. So when you keep the protein coming, your body is better able to respond to the demands of natural childbirth. Your skin will stretch more easily, you'll have more energy for pushing, and your healing time postpartum will be so much faster. The second thing you can do during pregnancy to reduce tearing during birth is the Perineal Massage. A 2006 systematic review found that first-time moms who practiced the perineal massage twice a week in the last weeks of their pregnancy were 10% less likely to experience extreme vaginal tearing. Now, 10% isn't huge, and the results were limited to first-time moms, but it's still worth mentioning. If you want to learn more about what a perineal massage is and how to do it for maximum effectiveness, check this video out right here. Now that we've covered what you can do during pregnancy, eat protein and give yourself a perineal massage, let's talk about how you can prevent tearing during labor and delivery. First things first, stay off your back. The supine position closes the pelvic inlet by as much as 20 to 30% compared to upright positioning. A smaller opening means increased pressure on your perineum as the baby's head descends. Increased pressure makes it harder for the tissue to stretch, leaving you with an excruciating tear. So stay off your back. This is most easily done when you choose to labor unmedicated. If you want to learn how you can have a completely natural unmedicated birth, the Echo Natural Birth course is the resource you need. You'll learn the science-based hacks to cope with labor pain, how to speed up labor, and of course, how to avoid vaginal tearing. That's linked below if you want to check it out. The next thing you'll want to do is push when you feel the urge. Now, wait a minute. Don't you push when you're 10 centimeters dilated? Not necessarily. The urge to push is caused by station, not dilation. So yeah, your cervix might be wide open, but if your baby isn't far enough down the birth canal, that station, then they're not coming out anytime soon. You can push all you want, but in most cases, you're just going to exhaust yourself and cause damage to the vaginal tissue. It's kind of like giving yourself hemorrhoids when you strain too hard during a bowel movement. When you strain to push out a baby who's way up here in the birth canal, it's gonna cause tearing. So go by station, not dilation. When the baby is far enough down the birth canal, you will get the urge to push, and that's when you're ready. Now, how will you know when you have the urge to push? Trust me, you will know. And this works for women who get an epidural as well. I was at a birth the other day and the mom had opted for the epidural. She was 10 centimeters dilated and they told her, okay, you're ready to push, but she couldn't feel anything down there because of the meds. We told the obstetrician, no, mom wants to labor down, meaning that she waited a little bit more time until she felt that pelvic pressure. So even when you get pain meds, you can still respond to this pushing instinct. We waited for about 30 more minutes, and then like clockwork, her body sent her those pushing signals. So even though she was medicated, she was still following her instinctual urges to push, and that baby was out very fast with very minimal tearing to the mother, which is uncommon with an epidural, by the way. And it's because she went by the station of her baby and not the dilation of her cervix. All the hospital staff present remarked on what an easy birth it was. So like my client, you will know when your body is ready to push, and pushing with the design is going to prevent or at least minimize vaginal tearing. Your body wants to keep you safe, right? Most obstetricians will tell you when to push. This is because they're used to seeing medicated births with mothers who have lost touch with their pushing instincts. But that's not you. You're gonna be in tune with yourself. Even if you get an epidural, you're still gonna know to bear down when you feel that pelvic pressure. Speaking of following your instincts instead of instructions, the next thing you can do to prevent vaginal tearing when pushing is just breathe normally. Most obstetricians will tell you, hold your breath, count to 10, now push, push, push. This is called the Valsalva maneuver, and it is effective at getting the baby out faster, so it's great in emergency situations. However, when you hold your breath, it exerts so much downward pressure that your tissue often doesn't have time to stretch around your baby's head, and it will forcefully tear. So put it in your birth plan, no coached breathing, and just breathe normally. Okay, so now that you've waited for that urge to bear down, you're pushing beautifully, breathing normally, the baby is coming. My next tip for how to prevent tearing during pushing, and this is a big one, slow down when the baby is crowning. I know you want to just get this kid out already, but when you slow down for just a few minutes, sometimes that's all you need to prevent a severe tear and weeks of painful postpartum recovery. Barring an emergency situation, there's no rush. The baby will come. Just ease your way through this part and you will save yourself a world of trouble during recovery. Okay, that wraps up how to prevent vaginal tearing when pushing. If you like this video, you are gonna love my other stuff, so hit subscribe to get the evidence-based tips you need to have the kind of birth you want, and I will see you next time.